What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Today I'm going to be taking an in-depth look at the Pokemon Trading Card Game's expanded format, which includes all of the Pokemon cards released since 2011's Black and White TCG expansion. This can be intimidating. There are a ton of cards to consider when building an expanded deck, but expanded is a ton of fun to play and offers a vast variety of decks to choose from. My hope is that this video will provide a useful resource for players looking to dive into the fun and exciting world of expanded format. Let's check it out. One of the most defining characteristics of any expanded deck is the inclusion of an A-Spec card. A-Specs are incredibly powerful item cards that were released during the Black and White era. They're so strong that you can only play one of them in your deck. One of the better ones that we're looking at here is Computer Search. You can discard 2 cards from your hand and search your deck for any card you want and put it into your hand. Just boosts the consistency of any deck that it's included in. Similar to Computer Search, there's also Dowsing Machine. It's kind of like an inverse Computer Search. You discard 2 cards from your hand and you can put a trainer card from your discard pile into your hand. So Dowsing Machine is going to be very useful for decks that want to bring specific item or trainer cards back from the discard pile into the hand. Computer Search is more about that early consistency. If you don't have a lot of tech cards in your deck, Computer Search is going to be the way to go for you. We also have some more techy style A-Specs available in expanded format. Life Dew is a popular choice for some decks. It's a tool card, and when the Pokemon it's attached to is knocked out, your opponent takes 1 fewer prize card. We also have Scoop Up Cyclone, which allows you to put 1 Pokemon you have in play and all cards attached to it into your hand. And then we have Scramble Switch, which allows you to switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and then you can move as many energy attached to the old active Pokemon to the new Pokemon as you like. Those are the best A-Specs to choose from, really. I mean, the other ones like Gold Potion, heal 90 damage from your active Pokemon, is not nearly as strong. Some of the other healing options available, just compared to a card like Mallow and Lana, right, can heal 120 damage. Rock Guard places 6 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon if the Pokemon it's attached to is damaged by an opponent's attack. However, none of these other cards can really hold up to the strength and consistency of Computer Search or Dowsing Machine. Those are going to be your bread and butter A-Specs for most expanded decks. Now, they can be very difficult to find. However, as you can see, many of mine are account locked. That's because I've actually just opened them myself out of packs on the Pokemon Trading Card Game online. And yes, finding these old Black and White booster pack codes is very difficult, but you don't have to do that. You can just head on over to the shop here on the Pokemon Trading Card Game online and use the coins that you just earned from playing games on the ladder to try and open them yourself. Boundaries Cross has Computer Search in it, and I know that I've opened a few myself out of Boundaries Cross. They're not that hard to find, so if you're looking for A-Specs but don't have a ton of packs to trade for one, I would definitely recommend trying to just open them out of packs. It could be a very rewarding way to build your own account. Some of the most powerful Pokemon ever released in the history of the Pokemon Trading Card Game have been released in the last couple of years. So as you build and play your own expanded deck, you'll find yourself using newer Pokemon like Tag Team Pokemon GX and Pokemon V, and sometimes older item and supporter cards. So I'm going to take us through all of the best supporter cards that expanded has to offer in this section. One of the most defining supporters in expanded format is N. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck and then draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. N is not only a great consistency card for setting up your deck. Shuffle Draw 6 is very good. We've seen Cynthia before, which also saw play, but N is also a great comeback card. It's like a reset stamp and a Cynthia all in one. As the game progresses, you limit not only your opponent's hand, but your own hand. If you have taken prizes yourself, you're going to be limiting your own hand too. An N-to-1 is a classic scenario in expanded format, and a scenario you're going to have to build your deck to be able to draw out of, since an N-to-1 is almost inevitable as the game is coming to a close. Arguably the best Shuffle Draw supporter ever printed is Colress from Plasma Storm. You shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw a number of cards equal to the number of bench Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent's. So if both you and your opponent have a full bench, you're going to be shuffling your hand into your deck and drawing 10 cards. And of course, there are ways to expand your bench in expanded format. You could shuffle draw up to 16 cards with Colress in expanded. It's truly a busted card. Hue, though not a very popular supporter card, is used in some control decks, so I thought I'd mention it. Each player either draws or discards cards until they have 5 cards left in their hand. So if you have a huge hand, you're playing against a control deck that's trying to deck you out, they may just play Hue, and then you have to discard your hand down to 5 cards. It can be very punishing if you happen to be hoarding resources. Discarding your hand and drawing 7 new cards is as classic as it gets in the Pokemon trading card game. Originally printed on Professor Oak in 1999's base set, the effect has been reprinted numerous times throughout the history of the Pokemon trading card game. Professor Juniper happens to be my favorite discard your hand, draw 7 effect, but there's of course Professor Sycamore and Professor's Research as well, though you can't double them up and play any of those cards in the same deck. You have to pick one. I happen to pick Professor Juniper. Ace Trainer is another popular comeback supporter in expanded format. You can only play it if you have more prize cards left than your opponent. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck, and then you draw 6 cards and your opponent draws 3. So it's great at limiting your opponent's resources after they have taken a prize, but since it is a conditional supporter, it goes really well in decks that force your opponent to take prizes, maybe if you're playing the Call Signal Magneton from Cosmic Eclipse. Archie's Ace in the Hole is the backbone to one of the most famous water decks in the history of the Pokemon trading card game, Archie's Blastoise, winning the 2015 World Championships. It seems like a gimmick when you first look at it. You can only play this card when it is the last card in your hand, and you put a water Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, then draw 5 cards. You can put any water Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, even if it's a stage 2. And the Deluge Blastoise loves this Archie's Ace in the Hole supporter card, since you can put that Blastoise into play on the first turn of the game, going second, and then put as many water energies from your hand onto your board as you want during your turn after you pull off the Archie's Ace in the Hole combo. And it's easy enough to do in expanded format with all of the insanely powerful item cards that we'll get to later in this video. AZ is one of the best Pokemon movers and heal cards in expanded format. It's a supporter card that puts one of your Pokemon into your hand. It's like a guaranteed super scoop up, but you do have to discard all cards attached to that Pokemon. So it goes very well with cards like Snorlax VMAX, who discard their energy after every turn anyways. Bridget is one of the best setup supporters in expanded format. You can search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Or you can search your deck for 1 basic Pokemon EX. And the funny thing about this card is that it was clearly not supposed to get 3 Pokemon that were worth 2 prizes. You could only get 1 Pokemon EX or 3 basic Pokemon that were not EX. But this card was never errated, so you can go get yourself 3 Tag Team Pokemon GX and slap them right onto your bench if you want to. You could go get 3 Zacian Vs, put them straight onto your bench if you want to. This card is mostly used in Rowlet and Alolan Exeggutor decks, but still a very powerful card nonetheless. Pokemon Ranger removes all effects of attacks on each player and their Pokemon. So you might be asking yourself, does this remove the effects of Altered Creation GX on Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia? Yes, it does. Pokemon Ranger is used for just that. It also helps to break item lock. If you happen to be up against a Vikavolt V with its paralyzing bolt attack, you can remove all effects of attacks on each player with the effect of Pokemon Ranger. So it allows you to break item lock, allows you to break Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX's Alter Creation GX for the rest of the game, rendering it useless. It's a very powerful card in expanded format. Team Flare Ground from X and Y's base set discards an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. If we've learned anything from standard format recently, it's that discarding energy is really good. Team Flare Ground also very good. Mill and control decks are still alive and well in expanded format. Team Rocket's handiwork allows you to mill cards off the top of your opponent's deck if you're feeling lucky. You flip 2 coins for each heads, you discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. Teammates is a great consistency card for single prize decks in expanded format. You can only play this card if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. You get to search your deck for up to 2 cards, any cards you want, and put them into your hands. Great for finding special energy like Double Colorless Energy or Twin Energy, as well as an attacker in decks like Mew Cramorant or Night March or Mad Party. Acerola is another great Pokemon mover. You put one of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it and all cards attached to it into your hand. Unlike AZ, it is a little bit conditional. It can only pick up Pokemon that have damage counters on it. However, you get to keep all of the cards and energies that are attached to the Pokemon you're picking up, making it very good for conserving resources and healing big Pokemon. Cynthia and Caitlin is strong in expanded format because it allows you to draw 3 cards and get a supporter card back from your discard pile into your hand, even under item lock. So you're going to see this card played quite a bit in those Rowlet and Alolan Exeggutor Vileplume decks. Speaking of control decks, Gladion is another fantastic option they have available to them. You can look at your face down prize cards and put one of them into your hand, then shuffle Gladion into your remaining prize cards and put them back face down. It's good for getting those one of cards that you need out of your prize cards. Since control decks don't tend to take any prizes, Gladion is a workaround for them to get a valuable resource out of their prizes so they can actually use it in the game while they try to deck out their opponent. Guzma rules the world in an expanded format. It's a switch card and it's a gust card. It saves you a lot of deck building space and gives you countless win conditions when you're playing your deck. Guzma allows you to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon, and if you do, you switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. You'll notice in standard format that a lot of decks have to play up to 4 copies of Switch in addition to Boss's Orders. Guzma does all of that in one. You'll notice that most expanded decks don't play hardly any copies of Switch, if at all, because they rely on Guzma to do not only their gusting, but also their switching. Guzma and Hala is a lot more popular in expanded format than it is in standard format because there are better cards to find with it. Guzma and Hala gets you a stadium card out of your deck and puts it into your hand, or you could discard 2 other cards from your hand and search your deck for a tool card, a special energy card, and a stadium card. It's a great supporter for getting those double dragon energies out of the deck on the first turn of the game. Mars is another popular card for control players in expanded format. You draw 2 cards. If you do, you discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Repeated often throughout the course of the game, you can mill quite a few cards from your opponent's deck by attacking their hand. Steven's Resolve is another great card for control decks in expanded format. You search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. Then you shuffle your deck. The drawback is that your turn ends, but it doesn't really matter if you end your turn if your deck isn't really looking to take prize cards anyways. One of the best things about expanded format is that the decks are far more consistent than they are in standard format, and that's due to the large amount of item-based search cards available to us in the expanded library. Ultra Ball is an item card that has been reprinted many times throughout the history of the Pokemon TCG. You discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, you get to search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. It fulfills a similar role to Quickball. Quickball is also great in expanded format. You just discard 1 card, get a basic Pokemon from your deck, and put it into your hand. Both Quickball and Ultra Ball can go get Dedenne GX and Crobat V. However, Ultra Ball can also get you evolved Pokemon. So Ultra Ball fulfills a dual function in your deck. Not only can it get evolved Pokemon like Pokemon VMAX, it can also get consistency Pokemon like Dedenne GX or Crobat V. And playing 4 copies of Quickball and 4 copies of Ultra Ball in your deck makes for a very explosive draw engine. Free search is always good in the Pokemon TCG. Nest Ball is good in single prize decks or decks that don't rely as heavily on Day-Day Change or Crobat V's Dark Assets. Since Nest Ball puts the Pokemon straight from the deck onto the bench, you don't get to use those powerful set-up abilities, unlike Quickball and Ultra Ball. Level Ball is another nice free search card. You get to search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck afterwards. It's great if you're setting up lots of little Pokemon. Netball is really good if you happen to be playing a grass deck. You get to search your deck for a basic grass Pokemon or a grass energy card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. That selectivity really sets this card apart if you happen to be playing a grass deck. In a format dominated by big tag team Pokemon GX and basic Pokemon V, Max Elixir is this format's best friend. You get to look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach a basic energy card you find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. If you play enough basic energy cards, odds are your Max Elixir will connect, allowing you to fire off attacks extremely quickly. In a format dominated by big basic Pokemon, Max Elixir is a very valuable card. You get to look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach a basic energy card you find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. It's great for powering up big tag team Pokemon GX or Pokemon V that are all over the place in expanded format. There are 3 different item cards that accelerate basic energy to one of your benched Pokemon. Dark Patch is one of them. You get to attach a basic dark energy from your discard pile to one of your benched dark Pokemon. It's set Dark apart for years, making Turbo Dark a deck to be reckoned with in expanded, especially when combined with Max Elixir. Aqua Patch, kind of the same thing, but really awkward because water Pokemon just aren't nearly as good as dark Pokemon. You get to attach a water energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench water Pokemon. And then, of course, there is Metal Saucer. Metal Saucer does the same thing as both of those, except you get to attach a metal energy card from your discard pile to one of your benched metal Pokemon. And of course, this goes great with Zacian V, whose Brave Blade attack still holds up in expanded format. There are far more ways to boost your damage output in expanded format than there are in standard. Choice Band is a popular tool card that makes the attacks of the Pokemon that this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon GX or EX. It's great for hitting those tag team Pokemon GX for big numbers. Muscle Band has been gaining a lot of traction in expanded lately as well because it's just a vanilla plus 20. It works against single prize Pokemon as well as Pokemon V and Pokemon V Max. If you happen to be playing a lightning type deck, then Electropower is going to be your best friend. It's an item card that reads during your turn, your lightning Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and it stacks. So if you play 2 Electropower, that's plus 60 damage. 3 is plus 90, and 4 is plus 120 damage. Hypnotoxic Laser from Plasma Storm is yet another way to boost your Pokemon's damage output. It automatically inflicts poison, and you get to flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is also asleep. This card goes great in Turbo Dark decks because Darkrai GX's Dead End GX attack automatically KOs the defending Pokemon if they are inflicted by a special condition, and Hypnotoxic Laser is by far the easiest way to inflict a special condition in expanded format. Trainer's Mail is one of my favorite item cards. You get to look at the top 4 cards of your deck and you can reveal a trainer card you find there except for Trainer's Mail and put it into your hand, then shuffle the other cards back into your deck. It's great for completing combos, finding stadium cards, supporter cards, item cards that you need off of the top of your deck. It goes really well in fast combo heavy decks that want to have a stadium card in play or want to find max elixirs. Trainer's Mail is just a great consistency card. It's good early, it's good late. If you get end to 1 or 2, you're going to want to see a Trainer's Mail there to help you get those game-winning cards off of the top of your deck. Although not quite as popular as Trainer's Mail, Acrobike is another valuable dig card that allows you to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, you put one of them into your hand, and discard the other card. One of the most defining item cards in expanded format is Versus Seeker. You get to put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. It's like an Eldegoss V in the form of an item, and you can easily play 4 of them in any deck. Versus Seeker allows for one-of supporters to see a lot more play in expanded format because if you discard one early with the effect of a Professor's Juniper or a Dedenne GX, you can retrieve it later with Versus Seeker. Versus Seeker quite simply changes the way that decks are built in expanded format. Battle Compressor is another format-defining item. You get to search your deck for up to 3 cards and discard them, then shuffle your deck afterwards. It's great for sending supporter cards to the discard pile to be retrieved later with Versus Seeker. Battle Compressor just increases the consistency of your deck. If you're playing one-of supporters, you can send those to the discard pile so that you turn those one-ofs into essentially 4-ofs if you have 4 copies of Versus Seeker in your list. Battle Compressor is also great for thinning your deck. You can discard unwanted cards out of your deck while you play so that you're not going to draw into them when you play your draw supporter, just increasing the consistency of your draw overall. A lot of decks also really like to play cards from the discard pile. We saw Metal Saucer, we saw Dark Patch. Battle Compressor can send energy to the discard pile to be retrieved with Metal Saucer and Dark Patch, increasing the consistency of those decks. There are also decks like Mad Party and Night March that actually want to send Pokemon to the discard pile to increase their damage output, and Battle Compressor is of course essential in those kinds of decks. Battle Compressor sees play in a ton of different lists and is a very valuable card in expanded. I mentioned earlier that almost no expanded decks play Switch, and why would you with Floatstone in the format? It's a tool card that makes it so that the Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost. Giving any Pokemon free retreat is completely busted. Floatstone sees play in a lot of decks and pairs great with Garbotox and Garbodor, who we're going to take a look at a little later on in the video. There are some really good tool cards in expanded, and there are some really good stadium cards as well, and Field Blower helps to take care of those. You get to choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards in play, yours or your opponent's, and discard them. Field Blower is great for moving pesky stadiums, great for breaking the Garbotoxin lock on Garbodor. If they happen to have a Floatstone on their Garbodor, Field Blower can get you out of those sticky situations. Just all in all, a great card. In addition to Guzma, there are some item-based Gust cards that see play. Counter Catcher allows you to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon, a guaranteed Gust effect, but the catch is you have to be behind on prize cards, so you're mostly going to see this card in control-style decks. But Great Catcher from Cosmic Eclipse also sees a ton of play in expanded because it can bring up Dedenne GXs, it can bring up Tag Team Pokemon GX on the same turn that you play a more powerful draw supporter. You get to switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon GX or EX with their active Pokemon, and cards like Great Catcher can be brought back by the A-Spec Dowsing Machine, meaning that you can reuse that Great Catcher effect throughout the game. If you watch me on stream, you know that I love Target Whistle. It's an item card from Phantom Forces that allows you to put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench. We play Mawile GX in standard format, which checks your opponent's hand and maybe gets a Pokemon if you find a basic there. Target Whistle is a guarantee from the discard pile. It can bring big 3-prize Pokemon out of the discard pile onto your opponent's bench so you can Great Catcher or Guzma them up. And what I really like about Target Whistle is that it can be retrieved with cards like Dowsing Machine. If you happen to discard the Target Whistle at an inopportune time, Dowsing Machine can always bring it back. I think Target Whistle is a very valuable card, and I expect to see a lot of play in expanded format. Rescue Stretcher is one of those item cards that's just so good you wish you always had access to it. It's an item card that allows you to choose one effect. You can either put a Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand or shuffle 3 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. And it's great because of that utility. You can either get a Pokemon back instantly. It can get you Crobat Vs or Dedenne GXs out of your discard pile, turn those into draw cards, or it can put more Pokemon back into your deck. If you happen to discard some evolved Pokemon that you want to have access to later on in the game, you could shuffle 3 back into your deck. It can also help to keep you from decking out. If you happen to be low on resources, you can put 3 cards back into your deck that way. It's just a fantastic card, and a lot of decks take advantage of it. Mill and control decks have a ton of resources available to them. Lily's Pokédoll acts like a 30 HP Pokemon, except when it's knocked out, it doesn't give up a prize card. And what's crazy about expanded format is that these control decks also have access to Robo Substitute, which also acts like a 30 HP Pokemon and also doesn't give up a prize card. So these decks can have up to 8 item cards that act like Pokemon and don't give up prizes in their decks. And those cards can be recovered with cards like Bunnelby, which I'll show off later. Hammers just never seem to go out of style. Originally printed in 2011, Crushing Hammer allows you to flip a coin. If heads, you discard an energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's been reprinted many times throughout the history of the Pokemon TCG, but Enhanced Hammer is also legal in Expanded. It's a guaranteed discard on one of your opponent's special energy and a very valuable disruption card. There are a handful of very strong stadiums in expanded format. If you're not playing one of those in your deck, you're probably playing Chaotic Swell, which is basically the Stadium Eater. It makes it so that whenever either player plays a stadium card from their hand, you discard that stadium card after discarding this one. Chaotic Swell is very good for keeping your opponent's stadium cards at bay. Silent Lab is probably the best stadium card in expanded format right now. It makes it so that each basic Pokemon in play in each player's hand and in their discard pile has no abilities. Basic Pokemon are huge in expanded format. Basic Pokemon with abilities are even bigger. Dedenne GX and Crobat V are 2 of the strongest draw cards available in the format. Silent Lab completely turns them off, as well as many other powerful basic abilities like Zacian V's Intrepid Sword. Now, Power Plant does still see a little bit of play. It does turn off Pokemon GX and EX abilities, so it does stop Dedenne GX, but most notably does not turn off Crobat V. And because it does not counter those new V Pokemon that are being released, Power Plant is seeing a little bit of a decrease in play as of late. Skyfield is a very fun stadium to play. It makes it so that you can have up to 8 Pokemon on your bench. It's great if you ever find yourself running out of bench space, if you're playing too many Dedennes or Crobats, or have support Pokemon like Ho-Oh EX that you want to make room for. Skyfield is going to be a great option for decks like that. It's also great in Snorlax VMAX, allowing it to do up to 300 damage for just 1 energy. Dimension Valley makes it so that each Psychic Pokemon's attacks, both yours and your opponent's, cost 1 colorless less. There are some great Pokemon that could take advantage of this powerful stadium card, like Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX. Mewtwo and Mew can copy the attacks of any GX or EX Pokemon, essentially opening the door for Dimension Valley to make any GX or EX Pokemon's attack cost 1 colorless less. It's a very strong stadium card when paired with Mewtwo and Mew. Also, Mew from Fates Collide can copy the attacks of any basic Pokemon on your bench. It makes a great partner for that card as well. If you happen to be playing a water or a fighting type deck, Brooklet Hill is a strong option. It allows you to search your deck for a basic water Pokemon or a basic fighting Pokemon and put it onto your bench and then shuffle your deck. It's just an all-around great consistency booster. Tropical Beach is probably the most rare and sought after card on the Pokemon trading card game online. It was only released during the 2011 and 2012 World Championships as a promo card to competitors. So very difficult to find. Goes great in control style decks. It allows you to end your turn by filling your hand to 7 cards. Decks like Shocklock and Dullstall love to play Tropical Beach. And if you're not using an attack to end your turn, you might as well fill your hand to 7 cards. Of all the Prism Star stadiums, Thunder Mountain Prism Star is definitely the best one. Makes it so that your Lightning Pokemon's attacks cost 1 Lightning energy less. Sees a ton of play in Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX decks, and there are a lot of ways to search out your Thunder Mountain Prism Star in Expanded, like Computer Search or Trainer's Mail, making it a nice consistency boost to those Lightning type decks. There are a lot of very good special energy in expanded format, strong energy being one of them. It boosts the attacks of your fighting type Pokemon by 20 damage, and it stacks. So if you have 2 strong energy attached to your fighting type Pokemon, that's plus 40 damage. 3 means plus 60. Pairs great with the new stone fighting energy as well, which decreases the damage your fighting Pokemon takes by 20. Colossal VMAX can really hold its own in expanded with access to both of these powerful fighting type special energy. Lightning type decks also have access to some very strong special energy in the form of Speed Lightning Energy, which of course lets you draw 2 cards when you attach it from your hand to a Lightning type Pokemon, but there's also Flash Energy, which makes it so that your Lightning type Pokemon has no weakness when it's attached. Great for combating those fighting type decks in your Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX deck. Counter Energy is a very versatile special energy that provides a double rainbow effect if you are behind on prizes and it's not attached to a Pokemon GX or a Pokemon EX. Most notably, you can attach it to Pokemon V. I have seen Counter Energy attached to Pokemon VMAX can provide a double rainbow effect to a Pokemon VMAX if you are losing the prize trade, and it provides a colorless energy if you happen to be on even prizes or ahead on prizes. It goes great in some control style decks as well. I've seen it paired with Watch and Learn Sudowoodo, which can really hop in there out of nowhere and copy an opponent's attack with counter energy. And since control decks are always losing on prizes, counter energy does go pretty well alongside them. Double colorless energy is probably the best special energy ever printed. It just provides 2 colorless energy. It's actually so good that they have reprinted the effect as twin energy in standard format currently, except twin energy cannot be attached to Pokemon V or Pokemon GX. Double colorless energy, doesn't matter who you are, provides 2 colorless energy. Very strong card. Double Dragon Energy is absolutely insane. It's a double rainbow energy, but it can only be attached to dragon type Pokemon like Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX. Double Dragon Energy fulfills both the metal and the water requirement of Alter Creation GX, allowing you to perform a turn 1 Alter Creation GX very easily for full effect with just 1 energy attachment. It also goes great with Garchomp and Giratina Tag Team GX so that its Calamitous Slash attack can be used very efficiently, and it also pairs well with Ultra Necrozma so that its Luster Downfall attack can be used for just 1 energy attachment. There are a lot of different kinds of rainbow energy available in expanded format. They all go great with Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX. Prism Energy provides every type of energy when attached to a basic Pokemon. And then, of course, there is the classic Rainbow Energy as well, which does deal 10 damage, but a small price to pay for having access to every type of energy attached to your Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX. Now that we've seen all the trainers in special energy, it's time to show off some of the best Pokemon in expanded format. Talk about the decks that they go in. First of all, Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX is the centerpiece to your lightning decks in expanded. It's got its full blitz attack, which deals 150 damage for 3 lightning energy and can accelerate 3 lightning energy from your deck onto your Pokemon. Great for getting a stable board position. Boltund V and Vikavolt V make this lightning deck even more powerful than it has been in the past. Bolt Storm deals 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon. This is insane with cards like Max Elixir, which get lightning energy out of your deck onto your bench Pokemon. And of course, Electropower, which boosts your attack damage even further. We also have Vikavolt V in this deck with its Paralyzing Bolt attack. Costs 2 energy. It's very easy to pull off a turn 1 Paralyzing Bolt when you have access to Max Elixir and Thunder Mountain and Tapu Koko Prism Star. Clefairy is a tech card that you're likely to see in expanded with its Metronome attack. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. It's a great counter to your Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX decks and your Garchomp and Giratina decks, since they are both weak to Fairy. Clefairy is, funny enough, one of the strongest Fairy Pokemon that you're likely to encounter in expanded. So a great tech card against those dragon type Pokemon. And then Marshadow GX is a popular tech for your fighting weak decks like your dark decks and your lightning decks, and also Snorlax VMAX, because its Shadow Hunt ability allows you to use the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile. So you can copy full blitz with a Marshadow GX and easily one-hit KO an opposing Pikarom with the help of Marshadow. This deck is a lot of fun to play and one of my personal favorites in expanded. It's very aggressive and has a lot of different options for dealing with various threats. Mewbox is a very fun Psychic type deck that takes full advantage of that Dimension Valley Stadium, which makes it so that your Psychic Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless energy less. Mew's Memories of Dawn ability makes it so that it can copy the attacks of any of your basic Pokemon in play. So we have Pokemon like Cramorant V, whose Spit Shot attack typically costs 3 colorless energy. It can be used for just 2 colorless energy, which of course can be fulfilled with double colorless energy or twin energy, which we play in the deck. So we can use Cramorant V Spit Shot for just 1 energy with our Mew if Cramorant V is on the bench and we have a Dimension Valley in play. We can also copy powerful attacks like Jumping Balloon or Seismitoad EX's Quaking Punch, which item locks, or even Clefairy with that Metronome attack, allowing you to copy one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. It's a fun single prize deck, and Mew has free retreat, making it a very good partner with Guzma so that you can easily Guzma things out into the active position and knock them out. Vileplume is one of my favorite control style decks in expanded format. Rowlet Executor's Super Growth attack makes it very easy to get a Vileplume into play. It fully evolves up a Vileplume as early as the first turn of the game, going second. And the Vileplume is really good. Its irritating pollen ability makes it so that each player can play any item cards from their hand, and many expanded decks are made up almost entirely of item cards. So it's a very disruptive ability to pull off early on in a game. And then the Disgusting Pollen Vileplume makes it so that as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent's basic Pokemon cannot attack. And many decks are made up almost entirely of basic Pokemon in expanded format. So this is a very tough deck to play against. And since it inflicts item lock, it is made up almost entirely of those disruptive supporters we showed off earlier in the video, like Faba, Cynthia and Caitlyn, Bridget, AZ, Steven's Resolve, allowing you to get whatever 3 cards you want out of your deck. And then of course Captured Energy making an appearance here, getting you a basic Pokemon out of your deck and onto the bench. Great for getting an Oddish into play so that you can use Super Growth early on to get a Vileplume into play. Funny enough, Mad Party is actually a lot better in expanded than it is in standard, thanks to Battle Compressor, which allows you to search your deck for up to 3 cards and discard them. Battle Compressor pairs great with this deck so that you can send all of your party Pokemon to the discard pile and then launch powerful Mad Party attacks for just 1 energy, utilizing that double colorless energy that we showed off earlier in the video. And then of course we can recover those special energy with Special Charge, which shuffles 2 special energy from your discard pile back into your deck. So our main attacker in the deck is going to be Bunnelby, and then you can actually attack for fighting type with Marshadow GX's Shadow Hunt ability, which we also saw in the Pikarom deck. And then Memories of Dawn Mew making an appearance here so that you can attack with Bunnelby as a Psychic type Pokemon to hit Psychic type Pokemon for weaknesses. And weaknesses play a big role in expanded format, since a lot of Pokemon need to be knocked out quickly and efficiently. Hitting them for weakness can allow that to happen. Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX is just awesome in expanded format. Its Perfection ability can copy the attacks of any Pokemon GX or EX on your bench or in the discard pile. It's a great card for copying cards like Noivern GX and its Distort attack, which deals 50 damage for a dark and a colorless that can actually be utilized for just 1 energy attachment thanks to Dimension Valley. If the Noivern GX is in your discard pile, it inflicts item lock. Item lock is very good in expanded. Turn 1 item lock, very easy to pull off with a deck like this. And then Sonic Volume for a Psychic and a Dark deals 120 damage and makes it so your opponent can't play any special energy cards from their hand during the next turn. Very good against decks like Mad Party or the Mew deck, which rely almost entirely on special energy in order to function. Mewtwo and Mew can also copy Mega Gardevoir EX, a Mega Pokemon EX. Very funny. Despair Ray for a single fairy energy if you have the Dimension Valley in play. Deals 110 damage and then it does 10 more damage for each Pokemon you discard off your bench. Great for getting liabilities off your bench. Also great for reusing Distortion Door Giratina, which pings 10 damage on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon when you bring it from your discard pile onto your bench. And then Garchomp and Giratina Tag Team GX is another popular option for this deck because its Calamitous Slash attack can deal 160 damage plus 80 more if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, and it can be used for just 2 energy thanks to that Dimension Valley Stadium. Another deck that utilizes Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX is Archie's Blastoise. Blastoise's Deluge ability allows you to put as many water energy cards from your hand onto your Pokemon as you like during your turn. You'll notice we don't play any Squirtles or Wartortles or anything like that. We just rely on Archie's Ace in the Hole, which allows you to put a water Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench and draw 5 cards. So that's how we get the Blastoise into play, and the whole deck is geared to thin your hand down to just 1 card, that card being Archie's Ace in the Hole, since Archie's Ace in the Hole can only be played if it's the last card in your hand. So we play a lot of turbo cards in a deck like this. 4 copies of Battle Compressor to get your Blastoises into the discard pile. Quick Balls, Ultra Balls, Trainer's Mails, Superior Energy Retrieval can discard cards out of your hand as well. Computer Search. It's a lot of fun to play and very explosive when it sets up. Double Dragon Energy is such a strong special energy card that it single-handedly carries decks like this Garchomp and Giratina deck, which can utilize Calamitous Slash as early as the first turn of the game going second, thanks to Tapu Koko Prism Star's Dance of the Ancients ability. Now that might seem inconsistent, but in Expanded it's not. You can use Battle Compressor to send those couple of lightning energies that we play straight to the discard pile, so the Tapu Koko can accelerate them into play with its awesome ability. And then Battle Compressor also goes great with Execute. Its propagation ability allows you to put the Execute from the discard pile into your hand once during your turn, except it can be used as often as you like during your turn in actuality. So the effect is that you can Quickball away an Execute from your hand, and then you can bring the Execute back into your hand with the propagation ability, and then you could use a different Quickball to Quickball it away again, and then you could bring the Execute back into your hand with its propagation ability, and this might start to make your head spin, but it works. The effect is you Battle Compressor away a couple of Executes, and then you use your Quick Balls for free for the rest of the game. Use your Ultra Balls for free. If you got 2 Executes in the discard pile, all your Ultra Balls are being used for free. All your Computer Search are being used for free. Your Great Catcher used for free. It allows you to play out of hands that have, 2 Ultra Ball, a Quick Ball, and a Computer Search and a Great Catcher. You could play all of those cards for full effect thanks to the propagation ability on Execute. Also goes great in that Archie's Blastoise deck, which we just showed off. This deck utilizes Galarian Zigzagoon's Headbutt Tantrum ability to place damage counters, as well as the Roxy engine. Roxy actually goes great with the Executes because you can actually just propagate the Executes into your hand and discard them with the effect of Roxy to draw more cards. And then of course you can discard the Blow Away Bomb Coughing as well to deal bonus damage counters on your opponent's side of the field, so that then you can Calamitous Slash for full effect. And then Naganadel and Guzzlord GX is awesome here. Its Chaotic Order GX attack allows you to just take 2 prizes if you have 2 extra energy attached. So if you have a Double Dragon Energy and a Lightning, you can Chaotic Order GX and just take 2 prizes to end the game. Ultra Necrozma from Cosmic Eclipse is another popular single prize deck. Its Luster Downfall attack deals 170 damage, and you get to discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, and it can be used for just 1 Double Dragon energy. Now, typically, its Ultra Burst ability would get in the way. It makes it so that this Pokemon can't attack unless your opponent has 2 or fewer prize cards remaining, but with the help of Silent Lab, we could just turn that ability off and start slugging away as early as the first turn of the game, going second. Another way we have to turn off our own abilities is with Garbodor. Its Garbotoxin ability makes it so that all abilities in play stop working if you have a tool card attached to the Garbodor. So it's very disruptive in addition to helping you turn off your own Ultra Necrozma's ability. And we use Float Stone to put on the Garbodor to give it free retreat as well. Also just increases the mobility in this deck. Now the Trash Lance Garbodor is also amazing. From Guardians Rising, its Trash Lance attack deals 20 damage for each item card in your opponent's discard pile, and we've seen there are a ton of items in these expanded decks, so Trash Lance can easily hit upwards of 300 plus damage at the end of a long game. Turbo Dark is another popular deck which utilizes Dark Patch and Max Elixir to flood the field with energy so that your powerful Darkness type Pokemon can fire off their attacks, like Dark Pulse, which deals 30 damage plus 30 more damage times the amount of Darkness energy attached to all of your Pokemon. And it pairs great with Darkrai GX, whose Restoration ability allows it to come back from the discard pile and can bring a Darkness energy with it, powering up that Greninja and Zoroark's attacks. And then of course all of your Pokemon's attacks can be copied with that Marshadow GX, allowing you to hit for Fighting type, which is very strong. Darkrai EX with its Dark Cloak ability gives all of your Pokemon with Darkness energy attached to them free retreat. This deck does utilize Skyfield as well, since it does play a lot of basic Pokemon, and you want to have plenty of space for your Darkrai GX to be able to restore itself onto your bench. And then Darkrai GX's Dead End GX attack is also just amazing. Automatically KOs anything your opponent has in the active position, so long as it's affected by a special condition. And we do play Hypnotoxic Laser in order to make sure that that Pokemon is affected by a special condition, so you can score those one-hit KOs. It wouldn't be expanded format without some gnarly control deck. This is Sander's most recent control list. It utilizes Bunnelby from Primal Clash with the Omega Barrage trait, allowing it to attack twice during your turn. You can Burrow twice or Rototiller twice, or do one of each. Burrow discards the top card of your opponent's deck, and then Rototiller shuffles a card from your discard pile into your deck, so you can attack your opponent's resources or recover your own, all for just 1 energy. And then this deck plays a ton of control-oriented cards like Crushing Hammer, Enhanced Hammer, Faba, Flare Grunt. It also plays Life Dew, which makes it so that the Pokemon this is attached to gives up one fewer prize card when it's knocked out. We got Power Plant and Silent Lab in here, as well as Misty and Lorelei, which allows us to reuse a Water-type Pokemon's GX attack, even if we've already used our GX attack during the game, which is great with Articuno GX and that Cold Crush GX attack, which discards all energy from both active Pokemon. This deck is certainly very tough to play against. And then, of course, Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX with Sashi and Fee, still a very strong deck. Ultra Creation GX can be used as early as the first turn of the game, going second easily thanks to Double Dragon Energy. Tag Call searches out the whole combo, getting you not only the Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX, but also Guzma and Hala, which can get you Floatstone and Double Dragon Energy to move whatever Pokemon you have in the active position out with Free Retreat thanks to Floatstone, and then the Ultra Creation GX powered up with Double Dragon Energy. After that, you can Ultimate Ray for a boosted 180 damage and accelerate energy onto your bench Pokemon, knocking out Pokemon like Dedenne GX and Crobat V thanks to our Gust cards like Great Catcher and Guzma, and taking 3 prizes on those liabilities. If your opponent doesn't have any liabilities in play, we've got Mawile GX with the Captivating Wink ability, which can bring a Pokemon down from your opponent's hand onto the bench, and if they don't have any Pokemon in their hand, you can check the discard pile with Target Whistle, bringing a basic Pokemon out of your opponent's discard pile and onto the bench. Definitely a very strong deck to look out for in Expanded. And that's it for the video. Hopefully you found this informative. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, and of course, check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where I stream live Pokemon trading card game content every single weekday. If you're looking for all of the best Pokemon trading card game online codes to build your Pokemon trading card game online account, make sure to check out fullgripcodes.com for instant email delivery on all the best Pokemon trading card game online codes. And of course, supporting the store at Full Grip Codes directly supports the content I create here on Tricky Jim. If you've got extra cards lying around the house and you're trying to get some cash for them or store credit or a new booster box, make sure to check out the Full Grip Games buy list. We are always buying bulk and singles here at the shop, and of course, selling your cards to Full Grip Games directly supports the content I create here on Tricky Jim. Y'all take it easy and have a busted day. Peace.